friends that we've met throughout the years, a couple that were significant to my dad. The first guy, I think we've known, my dad knew him maybe the last 4 months tops. And I was actually in Quebec during the time, and he would call up, and his name's Bear. And he would call up and say, well, I just had some French toast, Bear made it. That was the highlight of his day. Happened a lot of times. And I mean, it was Bear. I mean, our whole family, we didn't know who Bear was. We had no idea what the guy looked like, but we loved him. He took care of my dad while I wasn't there. And he was still a good guy. We still love him to this day. Appreciate everything. So he'll come up now and say a couple words.
Yeah, I only knew Wayne a few. I only knew Wayne a few months, but there was something that was really evident that I knew about him, which was that him and his wife just shared a really beautiful relationship, a really true friendship, and a real true, good, healthy, wonderful marriage. So that in itself is pretty magical. And then I'll never forget too when his daughter came while I was helping out. I was like, oh, this pistol, you know, she's just got her hair multicolored, and she comes in, she's all energy, and she sits down and talks to dad and does all this, and then you know, she leaves. So I knew that you guys had a beautiful family, you know, and that was very evident right from the very beginning. So right away I liked Wayne and I looked up to him because he made and created something that I wanted for myself. This is something I say, and I talk to Wayne about it, which is death is temporary and life is permanent. Right? So after our heart stops beating, our intellect, our emotion, our feelings, intelligence, it all goes somewhere else. Maybe it goes to a different body, maybe it goes to a different place, but it moves on. So Wayne's not gone. He's just transitioned, you know, into kind of a different place. Him and I shared some laughs. One of the good ones was it was pretty action-packed, actually. It was a lot more action-packed than I thought it was going to be. And today we will get the true, unedited version of that. And yeah, we will, yeah, right? But remember that what he says was, this is what happened. This is what he tells me after he looks at me very seriously and says, this is what happened. So they're having me repair one of the screen doors. You know, it's really difficult to open. You have to have like 2 horses. You have to open the screen door. So I'm outside repairing this screen door. And at that time, Wayne decides that he is going to light a candle on the stove. And because that we're cleaning out all these different things, all these different potato chips and boxes and pasta and things like this are on the top of the stove. And it catches fire. But I'm outside, and I don't know that. And then I start to hear him call. So I say, okay, so I have to open up the door. It takes longer than I want because that's why I'm doing that. And then I go inside real quickly, and oh my God, it was like a little bonfire. Yeah, it was about this high. And it was coming out the sides, and then I came and he's trying to flop it. He's got one towel on top and he's trying to flop the other one and put it out, and it's just making these giant fireballs. Whoosh. And then he grabs some of the potato chips and he throws them off the stove. And right when he did that, he had like 3 bags of chips and goldfish and Doritos, and he threw them off. And as that happened, it was just burning and all the bags were ready to let go right at that moment. And as he went like that, all of these Chinese ninja star flying potato chips go flying everywhere like in a big explosion. It was like a movie, you know. I'm going in. I'm serious. So I go and I'm like, uh-oh, well maybe water will help, right? So I go and I just get this jar and I start to fill up this jar with water. And I throw one on. It's not looking good. And I'm like being really calm, and I'm like, oh, don't worry about it, it just needs water. But I'm thinking, oh my God, if this next fill up of this jar doesn't really put this fire way down, my next thing is I have to run outside and try to get the garden hose, and by the time I come back, I'll lose the kitchen here, you know? But the next jar did the trick, and it died down, and we were able to get it under control. There was some singeing on some things, but other than that, we just killed a lot of goldfish and Doritos and things like that. But I didn't know that those things were that combustible, but they are. So if you eat a lot of Doritos, be careful if you're on fire or something. But yeah, it was amazing, right? And he started to get a little upset, like a little, angry with himself, and I just looked at him and I was like, wait, that was so cool. I was like, that was super cool, man. I'm like, if we have nothing like this going on all day, we will be really, really bored. Oh, that was pretty awesome. And so he stopped feeling bad about it. Kind of thought about it. I think he was, it was pretty fantastic. I've never seen, it was like exploding Dorito chips across it was wild, but we got it under control and it was good. So it was an adventure with Wayne. But anyways, afterwards, he goes in. It's pretty much not, the rule is that he's not supposed to do anything without like me holding his shirt, right? And if I had that rule, I would smack that boy, like, let go of him, right? So we had this code, but he knew that he shouldn't have been doing exactly what he was doing right then, right? And so he sits on the couch and he looks at me and he goes, here's what happened. So remember, here's what happened. He looks at me and he goes, here's what happened. And so he told me, the story, our cover story. And I said, don't worry. And anyways, that's Wayne. Wayne was a really good, old, powerful soul. He knew it was good, he knew it was bad. He was very happy with everything he had done in his life. He's very proud of his family. We talk about his sons and his daughters and his wife all the time. His number one concern was for you. He's just like, he expressed concern for you as far as, I love my wife, and I know she's scared, and that's all. He's like, that's all I care about, really. That's the only thing I'm worried about. He's like, other than that, it's fine. That's because he knew he did a really good job, raising you guys. So the good thing is the doctors told him he only had like 2 weeks to live or something like this, and he went much, much longer. But he just kind of did it on his terms. And that's the kind of soul we're talking about. He's like, yeah, nah, it's kind of, thanks for the idea, but I'm not ready to go yet, Wayne's like, no, not yet. And then he decided, yeah, I think it's kind of, I'm done. And then he left. I mean, that's a really powerful person to be able to decide, I'm going to stick around longer than you decided, and then I'm going to hang out, and then when I'm ready, I'll leave. And that's what he did. So let's all just remember and celebrate Wayne today.